welcome to the Crack of Dawn. Thanks so much for having me in Nutmeg TV here down at 9 Eastview Drive in Farmington, Connecticut. Please reach out to your local politicians and stuff and keep us on the air because we love it. We're working really hard to make it happen. And it's so fun here. And without public access television, you really wouldn't have anything, really, especially if you don't have any money. And everybody's trying to save. Same with me. It's so funny because I'm really trying to like cut my budget and everything and just like, you know, make more money, save more like everybody else. But here we are tonight. So I'm going to show you what we're doing tonight. So I'm actually doing something from Nutmeg TV, and I'm going to put them right here. We've got new cameras thanks to a grant that everybody wrote here. I'm just going to put them here. So this is 2 paintings I'm going to do for Nutmeg TV, and I'm going to be doing these next time. Here they are. Hold on. You got them. Yeah. Okay. So one is the outside of Nutmeg TV, and one is the inside, which you see right here. And they're going to be big paintings, and they're going to go like here in the studio. It'll be great. And I'll probably do one live and like maybe one with my projector, which means I'll trace it on a projector and make it more like realistic. But anyway, that's going to be for next week, but I've got them all ready. For today, what we're doing is I'm going to show you little clips of what I do sometimes for money on the side. And I do a lot of paintings for Miss Porters. And they're little ones. And I don't think I brought the little easels. I probably did. Actually, I'll get one in a second because it's right down at my side. But these are little paintings. And so if your kid goes to Miss Porter's or Ethel Walker or Avon Old Farms, you know, you don't want some big honking painting taking up the entire room, but you want something little to, you know, just to maybe put on the dad's desk or the mom's desk or the kid's desk when he goes to high school, saying that, you know, we did invest some money going to this fancy school, and Miss Porter's, as you know, is brilliant and a great school for all girls. So they ask me every now and then, Dawn, we need 6 more. And thanks to Jen down in the shop at the Ivy, they call the Miss Porter shop, it's called the Ivy. It's right off Main Street, and it's right across from the First Church, which is the big, huge white church on Main Street, right across from the fire station. So right by the fire station is the Ivy. And thank you, Miss Porter's, for supporting me, but they sell these little paintings, and I usually do 6 at a time, and they're all pretty much the same. When we had the hurricane in October of, like, I think 2020, it took down this little cute tree, this tulip tree, so I keep putting it in, and as you've noticed, Miss Porter's has since taken down all the bushes, and now they have iron fences, which I would imagine is going to just cut a lot of money in half with landscaping and everything. So now they have the iron fences. So it's going to change a little bit, but I'm trying to keep the paintings similar. And, you know, that tulip tree is just like part of the sign and everything that goes with it. So I'm going to work on a little bit of those. Another thing I'm going to work on tonight is there's a famous comedian. Now, I don't know her, okay? This is a commission. Someone hires me and says, Dawn, you know, I know this girl, blah, 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 and can you paint this? Happens all the time. So here's the photograph, here's the painting. I am not happy with the painting, which is fine because I would never even give it to anybody unless it was perfect. So we're going to work on that tonight. And I think this painting is in maybe like Sodus Bay Point, New York, but I'm not sure. And she's a comedian, don't know her, not sure who she is, but again, commission, sometimes you don't know who people are paying you to do work for, but it doesn't really matter. And it's really none of my business. So this is what I'm doing. So I'm going to work on the Porter School in this one. And we're just going to chat like we usually do. So yeah, I'm going to start with the Porter Schools. And I put like 3 of them in front of me at the same time. So when you're doing things this small, a lot of people say, oh, that's so easy, Dawn. Or a lot of people say, you know, it's cheaper when it's smaller, right? And I'm like, oh, God, no. If you look at this, I'm going to do it like this, Rich. Thanks, Rich Canistaro. He's our camera guy. So if I take this, I got it, Rich. Yeah, there we go. So this is a photograph of a painting that I did a long time ago. But it's the same one I repeat. But I make every painting a little different. But if I slide this over to here, you can see it's the same size. So it's very hard to paint the Miss Porter sign and do a whole bunch of them at the same time. And I don't get paid a lot for them, but it's reasonable, and it's actually it's profitable and nice. So it's not like they're cheap or anything like that. It's Miss Porter's, for crying out loud. They're wonderful to me, but I'm not good at marketing. I don't have a degree in that. But we worked it out where, they're just great to me. So I do these little paintings, and people can put them. Also, they come with little easels. So they come with a little easel. I think I have one in here. Let's look. Yeah, I do. Now, if you have the app, Temu, I think it's called. It's from Japan. No, China, of course. Everybody says, oh, don't shop that. It's from China. Well, you know what? I can't go to the art store anymore and buy these. They're little mini easels. And you put this right on it. And look at how cute that is. Oh my God, it's so cute. And so I didn't know what these were going to look like, but they're little mini easels, and you put them in the Ivy at the Miss Porter shop. And I make sure these paintings are perfect. I would never sell them if they were anything but. But they come with these cute little easels, and these little easels cost quite a bit. Actually, at Michael's, I think they were $7. And at Temu, I'm just going to be honest with you, I don't know, but way cheaper than $7. They might not be wooden like the ones that I was getting at Michael's, but I can't find them anymore. So I ordered a bunch of these, very reasonable with my prices. And usually when I'm working with 6 paintings at a time that are this small, sometimes I do them all at the same time, okay? Now these are half done, but they have to be absolutely perfect. Here, I'm going to raise them up here, okay? And I'm not sure if you can zoom in a little bit more, Rich, but I'm going to do them here. So a lot of people say, like, oh, what do you charge for something this big? And what do you charge for something small? And, the whole thing is like, smaller can be extremely hard because I've got, I've got the Porter's, I've got the Porter's font, which has to be absolutely perfect or it's not going to look perfect. Pretty much everything is like white pillars. Things have changed, but we don't want to change it too much. And I'll be dropping these off probably in a couple days. So I've worked on these a heck of a lot at home, but I just thought, you know what, I'm going to show you guys how to do a Miss Porter's painting and how I do them. And what I do is I attack the entire thing at the same time. Oh, speaking of attack, a lot of you guys know that, my mom's in a book club. A lot of friends of mine read. I remember asking a friend of mine, Evan Goldstein. Hi, Evan. He's a big-time lawyer around here in Farmington and does very well. And I remember saying to him, like, what do you have to do to be a good lawyer? Like, what's the one thing? Does it matter where you go to school? Of course it does. But I said, what's the one thing that you have to be good at what do you have to do to be a lawyer? And he said, read. And I was like, oh, And ever since he told me that, I thought, well, of course, no wonder why I'm not a lawyer. But he said a lot of reading. So any of you lawyers out there, like, it's a lot of work to read a lot. And all those books you guys have behind you and it's just a lot of work. So I'm reading, and don't laugh, please, because I really, it's hard for me I don't have a huge attention span. And if I'm bored after the first chapter, nobody ever told me I had to do this or I had to read something. So I always liked the movie Jaws. Don't laugh. Sorry. I love the movie. I love that movie. And Steven Spielberg is a genius, as you know. So we've always liked that movie Jaws. And so my friend, she said, can you meet me at my mom's house recently? And I said, sure. I said, what are you doing? She said, we're going to just, we're, getting rid of stuff and blah, blah, blah. And they grew up in a house, a lot like mine. And I went upstairs to the boys' room, and both boys are extremely successful, as well as the daughter, who's my friend. Well, they're all my friends. And she said, oh, we're cleaning out the room, and there was nothing to clean because everything was perfect. But she said, anything you want from the boys' room, take it, Dawn. And so I looked at their bookshelf because I'm not a big reader. And plus, my attention span is terrible. So I've never been attracted. Plus, I had to read Lord of the Flies and all the stuff they told us when we were kids, How to Catch a Mockingbird, all that stuff that everybody read. And I didn't like it. So I went to their bookshelf thinking, like, these guys make millions and millions of dollars. And I'm going to look at what their bookshelf was. And I think they moved out after high school. So anyway, whatever was on their bookshelves was probably what they read junior and senior years in school. So there was Jaws. There was Galapagos by Kurt Vonnegut. I had never read Jaws. I've seen the movie 5,000 times. Never. I know Kurt Vonnegut because he's from, his daughter Nanny lived in my town, Northampton. She met a really famous painter from my town. But anyway, I never really read a lot, and I hate to say it, but it's just true, So I grabbed the book. Right on the shelf was Jaws, and these are like Martha's Vineyard people, and now they still are and everything. But I grabbed the book Jaws. I had never read it in my life, by Peter Benchley. Seen the movie a million times, never saw his name come up, and I started reading Jaws, and I read it in a day. I just found it fascinating. It was perfect for me. Another book I took from them was Kurt Vonnegut, which was a little bit weird. I know he's weird. And then they had another book called 1984, George Orwell, which is now a classic. And my friend Sally said the other day that her son is required to read it at St. Paul's. Maybe not required, but that's what he's reading. So anyway, I just thought, here's two guys that are like billionaires now, and I get to raid their bookshelf. So I took Jaws, and I read it in so quick. So thank you, M and T, and thank you, Tress, for letting me raid your brother's bookshelves. And I'll give them back to you, I promise. But that was really cool. And, it's not something that I enjoy. I'd rather go for a walk. I do this or that. And when I'm forced to read something, I really don't like it. So I remember when Evan said to me, a lawyer has to read. And I thought, and you probably have to read stuff that you don't want to, all sorts of clauses and things. So I tell you, if you haven't read the book Jaws and you've seen the movie, it's fantastic. And I'll tell you a couple things, which most people that read know, so I'm not trying to be all big and brilliant. But in the movie Jaws, when there's the dog, Pippin, remember the black dog runs out, and they're like, Pippin. And I think the dog disappears first. Then the boy, Alex Kintner, goes on the raft, and then he comes back. Dog's gone, raft comes up, it's all chewed up. That's not in the book. There's no dog in the book, So I was like, where's the dog? I mean, that was the whole beginning of the book. Also, like movies that get adapted into, or books that get adapted into movies, Steven Spielberg had a big part in, what to leave out. There were also some racial connotations that they left out of the book. So if you've read the movie Jaws, there's some racial stuff in there that are kind of Mark Twain-y stuff that maybe wouldn't have gone so well back in 1975 when the movie was hit. But anyway, I just have to brag that I read a book. So you guys are probably all laughing at me because my mom's in a book club and my neighbor's in a book club. Most of my friends are in book clubs. Got a couple friends that are authors and geniuses, and it just takes me, I gotta catch on real quick to read a book. So that was a good book. And I'll tell you, the Keith Vonnegut one about Galapagos is kind of weird because it starts out saying, how did some of the mammals get over to the island when they don't have wings or stuff like that. Little out there for me, but I'm hooked, I'll read it. So we're doing the Miss Porter's things. I'm going to work on these. And then when I go home tonight, I will get out the Nutmeg TV ones and get those ready for next week. If any of you guys go online and you really enjoy our station, make sure you reach out to some of your constituents and make sure we keep alive here, because I just love this show. I think it's great. And I watch a lot of it on the weekends, there's a lot of programs. We have Hulu, Peacock. We don't have any of that at my house. My kids are like, Mom, we're the only ones that don't have Netflix. And I'm like, I know. We don't. We have 10 minutes. Thank you, Rich. Rich just said 10 minutes. We don't have any of that. Of course, my husband loves to watch, sports. I don't know what he has, but all I know is that if he wants it, that, if it's really expensive, then, one of the things about working out your marriage. It's like you have to just be like, if you want it, then you pay for it. You want this? You want a fancy car and you don't have any money? Then you buy it. Kind of how we work on our marriage anyway. I mean, I don't care what Tony drives, but it's like, don't make me pay for half of your Ferrari or whatever the heck you want to drive. It's like, you buy it, it's fine, I don't care. I remember one time my husband wanted a Mercedes. And I love my husband, but I was like, honey, we don't have a garage. You know? I mean, it just, not to be mean, but like, those are like fancy cars. You know, if you don't have a garage, it doesn't look very good having a fancy car in the driveway with no garage. Nothing against him because he likes nice cars, but ugh. And so it's very hard to think, you know, what you'd want. I don't know where I'd want to live. I always think to myself, where would I want to go? You know, are you Florida? I don't know. Florida, you know, you get on the highway, you know, you're at your house and you have to go from like 0 to 100 just to get out of the parking lot and make it onto the highway. It's like, takes forever. And you got to wait, because you got to wait until you can get enough speed to go that fast. And then, of course, everybody in Florida is like retiring and older. So how do people drive so good? Like, I don't know if I could handle that. I don't really like malls, don't like shopping. Perkins is like Friendly's with the bar. Remember Perkins? I think Perkins is the grocery store there, or I think it's the place that's like Friendly's with a bar. And, you know, to anybody that has places in Florida, I love it. I went to Miami last year, but I haven't been to Florida since. And a lot of people I know are moving there, but I love Connecticut. I think it's great here, especially Farmington. I think it's great. And we're right located, we're right where the old wooden tap used to be. So now it's called Sugo, and they have a big, huge mural on the side of the building. I've been there, fantastic. So if you're ever coming this way, it's right on Farmington Ave. I don't know the people that own it, nothing. All I know is that the garlic bread, I went with Christina from the Hillstead, and we thought it was great. Yeah. And then, so we're just finishing these up. And these I should be able to drop off, maybe not tomorrow, but, I mean, they have to look perfect. They're going in the Ivy. These people are paying a ton of money for their kids to go to school. And if they're even going to come near one of my paintings, they have to be perfect. So, you know, it's kind of monotonous doing these paintings all the time, but they don't ask for them all the time either. And I love doing them. And I think, you know, a lot of people say, oh, it's cheaper when they're smaller. Nah. Yes, but, you know, when you're the artist, it's a little bit harder. And each one's a little different. So when you're saying, like, I can't believe, you wouldn't believe when someone comes into a store and they say, you know, I want that one. And then, you know, I'm thinking to myself, God, that's my least favorite. I like this one, you know, or I like that one. But everybody has their own, you know, take on what they like. But the letters have to be perfect, and these are very small paintings, not something I'm used to doing at all. But you know, I've been doing it for 20 years, and I don't think I'm the only artist in Miss Porter's, but I'm one of them, and they've been fabulous to me. And if you're ever thinking about putting your kid in school there, it's a great experience. I worked there as a maid. I love being a maid, actually. I was a maid in Aspen, Colorado. That was my first. No, it wasn't. I was a maid in Boston, too, at a very fancy place on Newberry Street. And then I was really good at being a maid. And you'd never know it if you came to my house. You'd never know it. You'd be like, what? Dawn, I can't believe you were a maid. Well, I was. Cleaning lady, maid, whatever you want to call it. I call it a maid. I don't know what you call a male maid, because I worked with a guy from Brazil, and his name was Mario, and he was better than I was. And he was from there, but he was stronger than I was, and you have to be in really good shape to be a maid. Not that you'd know that, but you do. To be a good maid, you have to be fantastic shape, because you are just cleaning. I mean, you're in tip-top shape. There's no reason to go to a gym. So I was in great shape at that time, and he was even in better shape. We've got 5 minutes, thanks to Rich. I'm just meandering on. But anyway, I was a great maid, and if I got paid more, I would still do it to this day. I absolutely loved it. So I was a maid. I'm sure I've talked about this before, but I did Madonna's room, not her house, her room, at the Hotel Jerome in Aspen. I worked at the St. Moritz, but I cleaned Cher's house. Cher, you know, Cher, Sonny and Cher. And never met her, you know, because they steer clear. You know, the movie stars steer clear of the maid. They probably don't steer clear of the nanny, but the maid, they steer clear. But you have a precise list of what you're supposed to do and not. And Cher's house, I did in Aspen, Colorado. I did her chandelier, which was all Swarovski crystals, the whole thing. So I was on a ladder, and I had to do every single crystal. Hi, Cher, if you're watching. Oh, that would be so cool if she was. But anyway, I did your, you know, chandelier, Cher. And then I just did one bathroom. And I'm sure she had like 20 bathrooms. Maybe not that many. Maybe like 8. But she lived in one of those like A-frame, kind of like what you'd think of Aspen, Colorado, like, you know, a ski lodge. But it was fancy. I never met her. Her house was immaculate. I don't know how many houses she had or whatever. And her daughter, now Chaz, her son, Chastity, at the time, played pool at the local billiard place called, I believe it was the Little Nell or the Red Onion. I can't remember. Chastity, Chaz, sorry. If you're listening, let us know, because I used to play against you and you kicked my behind because you were really good. And nobody really knew. She didn't brag, I'm Cher's kid. No, no, no. But she was always at the same place playing pool. And of course, when you're living in Aspen, Colorado for a summer and more, I was there for a little bit longer, you're like literally with the rich and famous, and it's pretty cool, unless you're not rich and famous like me. So it gets old, but it was really fun. And I had a great experience, and I really loved being a maid. I do it to this day. I just, here we go. They're looking good. Rich, they're looking good. And when we're done with this, we're going to go over to the next painting. And then the next time you see me on, we're going to have Coachy back. You know, I got the bracket going with the Yukon and the girls. Of course, everybody picked Yukon to win. And of course, I did too. But I also picked, I think, either Houston or Purdue. I think Purdue. So just in case, you know, you never know with injuries and stuff. So, and of course, it's like I didn't pick anything. Everybody knows me. It's my dad. My dad helped me with the bracket. I work with 2 gym teachers that, of course, are like all gym teachers. Of course, they're going to do the bracket. But I work with some great people. And to anybody that's doubting going into education, it's so fun, and it's so great, and so rewarding. And we have 2 minutes, thanks to Rich. Oh, I can't believe it. A lot of people are like, especially on like social media, you know, get these young teachers, oh, I thought I was going to be a teacher. I can't stand it. They quit. Stay with it. Come on. It's not that bad. I love it. It's hard, and if you're not really used to, you know, dealing with it, it might be a little harder. I'm mixing, I don't know if you can see here, but yeah. So I've got a alizarin crimson, which is this one right here. So that's a red with a lot of blue in it, right here, like blue. See, hold on. So this red right here has some blue in it, because that's why it's alizarin crimson. This red over here is just straight cadmium red, which is going to turn a different kind of pink. And I'm putting that right over my other pinks, and I hope it works. But you want these things to be able to sell. I want them to invite me back. I love Miss Porter's. I even love being a maid there. It was fun. Except when one of the girls I worked with, Becca, hi Becca, we had to lift up all the furniture, you know, because you've got to clean. These people go to school for a lot of money. So this table, if I was cleaning it, you'd have to flip it upside down and do all the legs, like literally. You can't just clean the top of it. You have to clean the entire table, the legs, underneath, everything. And I'm terribly afraid of spiders. Not so much snakes. A mouse goes by, runs over my foot, don't care. A rat, yeah, that's different. But a mouse, A spider, we have 1 minute. I can't believe it. A spider, I can't stand it. Well, we were cleaning the pottery wheels. And Becca didn't care. She was so used to cleaning and whatever. I was used to doing sheets and laundry and stuff. And she said there was a big spider, big. And she just brushed it off, I think, maybe with a towel or something. And she said to me, I said, that one had eyes. And she said, that one not only had eyes, but it had a face. And like, I just can't do spiders with faces. Like, oh God, I can't do spiders. I don't know if I could pick up a snake either at this point in my life. But so we have about 30 seconds. We had a great time tonight. I'm going to go on in the second episode and work on this house one, which needs to be sent out in a couple days. This is going up to Syracuse area. I don't even know where it is. But it's got to look better than this. A lot of people say, that's so good, Dawn. Well, no, it's not. It's not. If it's not good enough for me, then I don't sign them. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you again. Keep tuning in. I'm not really sure when I'm on, but also call the station if you want to come on. I was this close to having Gino Auriemma on. Sorry, Gino. That was a long time ago, but I remember his PR girl. What the heck was her name? Jennifer Liberty or Jennifer? Oh, what was her name? Jennifer. Anyway, she just said it's bad timing because Gino's really busy, and I would imagine now he's super busy. So hopefully we can get some people on here. Please watch again. Tune into the Crack of Dawn, and I love it.